local mining agency or LMA. Your agency will shoulder all the expenses. Kindly proceed to Marina Help Desk after the immigration exit. For non-OFWs, the Philippine Airlines shall provide you with information and instructions after this briefing.
Sir, your hat please and eyeglasses. Yes, ma'am.
Hello everyone, my name is Kath Dee and I am an international student in Canada from the Philippines, and I post a YouTube vlog every week as much as I can, and I post anything about being an international student in Canada, about my experience, and also about lifestyle. So if you like that kind of content, please do subscribe to my channel, hit the thumbs up, and comment in the comment section below. Tagal ko lang di nag-upload, din ako na mag-intro. Okay, so let's get started. If you watched my last vlog, which is this one, I mentioned that I am in Philippines. And to tell you, I am still here in Philippines, guys. I went home here around December 2020. I came from Canada at that time, and yes, I went home during pandemic. It's just before the Philippines banned Canada, foreigners from Canada to travel inside our country. I went home because of my mom. She already took a rest, and I and my older sister Ate Kim wanted to bid our last goodbye to her. And also to become with our family during this very tough time for us. We went home December 2020, and my sister went back to Canada in January, and I am still here in Philippines February 24. I'm filming this February 24. So in this vlog, I'm going to talk about my experience when I fly from Canada to Philippines during pandemic. What is the reason why I'm still here in Philippines, why I did not go back to Canada immediately before having all those travel restriction in Canada, and the process on how we travel from Canada to Philippines. So let's start. As I mentioned, that currently people coming from Canada are banned to enter our country, but Filipino citizens can come back home considering all the travel restrictions, like mandatory quarantine, swab, and all. So we are Filipino citizens are allowed to go back in our country, even though Canada is included to the restricted country, to be able to travel in Philippines, no? So process of going home using or booking in Philippine Airlines. So when it comes to booking flight, you might have a hard time to find a direct flight from Philippines to Canada. That's because the travel ban or the travel restrictions that was given to Canada from the Philippines. Yeah, back in December 15, which is our flight, there was no travel restrictions or travel ban at that point, so we didn't had a hard time to book a flight coming back to Philippines. Right now, it's different. Only one day in a week you can book a direct flight from Philippines to Canada. You can still book indirect flights, but you know, the direct flight is, I feel like it's much safer for me to travel or for you to travel, because you are only exposed to those people in that plane and after that plane. So if I'm not mistaken, only Wednesdays have available direct flight from Philippines to Canada. Philippine Airlines have a lot of protocols that are strictly observed, of course, to ensure that everyone is safe, everyone is healthy while you are inside the aircraft or while you are boarding to the aircraft or the plane. you are required, or you are mandated to wear face mask and face shield all throughout your stay in that plane. Next is, it is mandatory registration to case investigation forms depending on the traveler's type and port of entry. So there's a lot of forms that will be given to you at the airport or the plane, and you have to answer that, and you have to submit that to the people who will get that paper from you. There is also mandatory use of the Trace mobile application to generate and scan the QR code when entering in, boarding form from and upon arriving in all Philippine airports. That I didn't experience, but it's included in the website of Philippine Airlines. Although if you are coming home from Canada to Philippines now, make sure you have this so that you won't have any problems coming back home. Of course, there's still mandatory temperature check, use of foot bath, sanitation, new normal stuff. If you wanted to know more about this, then you can check the link in my description below. So there are other rules, regulations that are written in that website. It always updates, so make sure to check that out if you're going back home now, because it might be different. Apart from all that protocols, also mandated that people who are coming outside from the country should undergo swab testing at the airport. So when you arrive and then go out from the plane, there will be Coast Guards and Red Cross people who will assist you to the swab testing location inside the airport in Philippines. So if you are an OFW or you're traveling, you are a family traveling with at least one OFW, you are required to do swab testing. But since you're OFW, you are already free from the payments of swab testing. So you just have to answer, you just have to register on these links. This is for land-based OFW and this is for sea-based OFW. So register on that link it also down in the description box below if you wanted to know more about it. If you're non-overseas Filipino naman, Filipino worker naman, you have to pay all of your expenses such as swab testing and hotel quarantine. There is no home quarantine, but every people who are coming outside the country will undergo 14 days quarantine in a designated or accredited hotel of or by the government. So yeah. So last time when we arrived in Philippines, we are in hotel quarantine for like 3 days because we waited for the swab test result. But now you have to go through 14 days quarantine inside that hotel even though you tested negative on your swab test. Face mask is mandated, face shield is not really mandated. They have few questions about your health and they will take temperature check and such. Yep. So when you arrive naman in Philippines, normally passengers stand right away when the airplane landed, but at that time we were asked to remain seated because the Red Cross and the Coast Guard personnel went up inside the plane when we landed. They went up inside the plane and then announced a few stuff like what to expect when you arrive, when you went inside the airport, what do the OFW people should do, some of the guidelines to the passengers inside the craft, and the procedures. So after everyone is cleared, we went out of the plane. We were welcomed by Coast Guards and Red Cross people for swab testing. Testing. And then we were swab test. Like, they poked my brain. So after the poking of nose, we went to get our bags, and then we went to the OFW desk, land-based, OFW desk land-based, because we're land-based, and we asked to give our information, our visa, work permits, and then after that, once we were cleared, we wait for the bus to arrive, which that bus will take us to the hotel that is provided by the government. So we were sent to the hotel arranged by the government. Again, we both have, me and my sister have separate rooms for ourselves, even though we live in the same house. We both left Canada at the same time, so we still need to have a separate place or a separate room for the quarantine. So it will take 1 to 3 days for the result to come out. The question is, why am I still here in Philippines? Why I did not go back in Canada before all the travel restrictions, all the travel bans in Canada? So that's because unfortunately my visa expired before I came in Philippines, before I went back home. So it's expired. Now I can go back home, but I can't go back in Canada because it's expired. It's not valid anymore. So I have to extend my visa because I'm still a student, so I can still extend my visa. Yeah, so that's why I'm still here. I'm still waiting for my passport to come back to me. It took me a long time and a lot of courage to apply for my extension for the student visa. I still don't have the courage to like do all the forms and submit it and continue my life, you know, that because of my mom's death, and I was just not in that mental state to do everything. Now I waited for a month long to get my approval. So after that, of course, I have to send my passport to be visa stamped, and I just sent it like a few days ago. So let's see how long it will take for me to get that get back my passport for the visa. So yeah, so that's why I'm still here. I'm here in Philippines for about 3 months or 2 months. I think it's almost 3 months already. So the question is, can we go home during this pandemic time? I say yes, you can go home, but of course there's a lot of hassle, a lot of travel restriction, a lot of risk. Advice is no, don't go home during this period unless it is an emergency, unless you really need to go home. Thank you guys for watching my video. If you have any questions about being an international student, please do ask in the comment section. I have Facebook page, I have Instagram page. You can message me there, but I'm gonna try to respond to you. So I don't know if I can like respond to you immediately, but I will try my best as always. Thank you guys. Like this video, subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell for my next vlog. So have a great day, everyone. I love you all. See ya.